Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa and I am your cruise director on the Magical Mystery Tour. Today we are going to talk about some tips for colouring your own hair. Before we get to that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell to be alerted to any new uploads, and if you like this video at the end, please give it a big thumbs up. Let's go chat. Okay, so I haven't had my hair. This is a chatty chat. Oh, new cup. I haven't coloured my hair in the salon in well over 10 years now. Why? Because I had a very, very, very bad reaction to a hair colour that whilst it was being put on, like halfway through processing, I could feel it start to burn. Later that night, it felt really bad. The next day, I woke up essentially looking like I'd dipped my whole head in a bowl of acid and had to have a week off work because it was full on Bell's palsy. One side of my face is what it looked like. I looked like I'd had a stroke. It was pretty horrific. And since then, I've not been back. Also, at the time, you know, single parent raising two daughters, not on the best wage whatsoever either. So I did everything I could to economise. And we are in an economic crisis now. So whilst it's been a habit with me, some people are starting to look at doing it at home and are scared about the horrors of the box dyes. So I've got 8 tips for you. Let's get into it. First one is hair prep. So wash your hair at least 24 hours beforehand. You don't want to have it on freshly washed hair. It increases the risk of scalp irritation. I like to wash it 1 to 2 days beforehand. If I'm going to colour on a Sunday, I'll wash it Friday night. Try not to put anything in it for Saturday. I'll use a clarifying shampoo to get rid of any build-up, any product that's still in there. Then I just let it dry naturally and give it a good 24 hours for natural oils to build up on the scalp. That creates a barrier and it'll stop irritation. Get yourself, tip number 2, get yourself some salon style tools. So I have a mixing bowl, I have a brush, I have a couple of different brushes in actual fact. So I have a straight, you can get these at Priceline, any Chemist Warehouse, you can get them anywhere that sells hair colours. So a mixing bowl, a straight bristle brush. I also have one that's slightly curved like that. Better angle, more ergonomic. That came from what I used on the weekend in actual fact. I keep them all, which was the Clairol Root Touch Up. These make a difference to being able to evenly apply your hair colour. If you're going straight out of the bottle, it's just harder. Like it is just harder. With a brush, you can do it evenly. You can ensure an even application all over. And whilst we're on it, if you are using a box colour, go to the supermarket and invest in latex gloves. Don't use those rustly oversized ones that slip on and off your hands. They are just a mess. If you get the latex one, you know, you're looking at about $6 for a box of maybe 50. You'll thank me later. It fits better, better grips. It allows for better coverage. Next up, tip number 3, choose the right shade. Because we're not going into a salon, we want to choose something that is close enough to our natural colour. You only want to go 1 to 2 shades. Now, the issue with that is that if you go more than that, it can start to look a bit patchy. And also, if you're lightening it, it'll start to look a bit brassy. So if you're doing it at home, the suggestion is keep it as close to your natural colour as possible. This, I've only root coloured over the weekend. I also like to not go too bright with it. That being said, I have coloured the roots and I am going to put a brighter colour over. Number 4, Vaseline. Petroleum jelly is your friend. Slather this around your hairline, over the tips of your ears, and that's going to protect against a stain. We want to get right into all this baby fine hair. If you are like me and you have got a lot of greys, we need to get into the roots, and what that can mean is that we need to brush down onto our hairline, which is fine, but we don't want the staining. So put petroleum jelly all around it, get yourself some cotton swabs, and you can just wipe that off and the staining will come off. If you do have a little bit more staining, when you are washing it out and they tell you to lather up your scalp, they tell you that for a reason. When you are lathering it up, lather it up right down onto here, because that's going to remove any staining on your scalp. Tip number 5, follow the directions on the box. I mean, duh. They are on there for a reason. A strand test, when they tell you to do a strand test, if you're using something that you haven't used before, a product that you haven't used before, it is really good to do a strand test for a couple of reasons. One, it's going to tell you how your hair is going to react, and it's going to show you how it will turn out, how long it will take to process. So particularly if you're changing, you know, colour from exactly what you're on and you're going to change a shade or two lighter, you don't know how long that's going to take. Whilst it says, some will say 20 minutes, some will say 35, some will say 40 minutes. And they do say that for a reason, because it's what they've built the product to do. If you leave it on too long, what that is going to do, if you think you need it to be darker, it's a big mistake. That's going to make your hair darker, and it's going to make it look dull because it's damaging your hair. So if it says to leave it on for 35 minutes, go wash it off after 35 minutes. You want to ensure that it's going to look good and healthy. Also, make sure to have a look at the colour on the back. Don't go as a guide by the colour on the front. That's what's going to get you in. But flip it over, because it'll show you if it's designed. I don't look at any that is designed for light brown hair, anything lighter than that. I like to look at, and for me, it's always the darkest or second darkest shade on the back of the box to see how it's going to turn out. My hair grips colour. My hair is naturally quite dark with a bit of an auburn undertone. So quite often shades will pull darker. Quite often they will flip a little bit redder in it. So always make sure you have a look at the back to see if you're going to be happy with that. Because if you are wanting the most vibrant red and it shows up as almost fire engine red on the front, and you flip it over and you've got hair my colour and it shows as a super, super, super dark with a slight red tinge to it, that's what you're going to get, not what's on the front. Sounds silly, but a lot of people don't actually pay attention to that. Number 6, double up. If you have hair my length, longer, anything longer than about here, if you've got anything longer than a bob, get 2. You may not need to use them all, but there is nothing worse than the panic of getting halfway through and then all of a sudden realizing you may not have quite enough, and you want to ensure that it's well coated. So get 2, mix up one first and apply that. Once it looks like you are getting to the end of that, you don't need to use the whole product, because you're putting it into a bowl. You can half and half it and mix up more, and then you've got that other half ready for next time when you want to mix, because it's only activated once it's mixed together. So get 2. I do. My hair's not particularly thick. My hair's quite fine, but I always use 2 because I want to ensure that I've got enough. I want to ensure that it's soaked and evenly coated. You'll thank me later if you're not doing that already. Number 7, post hair care. We're getting to the last 2 tips that we have got. So leave washing your hair as long as you can. I coloured my hair 3 days ago, and I haven't washed it since yet. I've straightened it, obviously, but I haven't washed it since. I've let it dry naturally. What that does, you want the cuticle to seal back down, to smooth back down. So the longer you leave it, the more the natural oils have got a chance to spread. And once it smooths down, it's really locking in that colour. Next up, invest in a shampoo and conditioner designed for coloured hair. There are so many different ones out there, whether you are blonde, whether you're brunette, whether you're a redhead. You can get shampoos and conditioners designed to extend colour, but also to refresh colour. So I like to use, as I said, I've got a bit of a natural red base in it, and I'm under studio light, so it's not showing up. But I'll go between brunette and redhead, because it'll pull colour out either way, and it really does extend that wear. Last up, what I mentioned earlier, tip number 8, use root touch-ups. If you are going over and over and over with box dyes, the problem that you have is that the ends of your hair will end up going black. Like if you are a brunette, for example. I'm a brunette, so I'm only speaking from brunette experience. If you are going over and over and over, a hairdresser will always know if you're going to get your hair cut, because they'll be able to tell, because these ends get dull and dark and ugh, because we've gone over it and gone over it and gone over it and gone over it. So root touch-ups are your friends. I colour a full head of my hair probably 3 times a year. I'm trying to keep it down to 3 times. The rest of it, I use a root touch-up on. And I've used a root touch-up on the weekend. I used the Clairol root touch-up, which just comes in a little small tub. The good thing about that is I have not done all my hair. Like, I had roots that were to about here at this stage. I've been putting off due to my daughter's wedding. But I part my hair here most times, so I will colour the roots all up here. I colour all around my hairline, then I'll part it in the middle, and then I'll part it on this side. So I essentially do 3 parts on my hair for the different styles that I'll do it. And I did have enough left over to go a bit further, but if we duck in here, I don't know if you can see here, I've got roots. You can see how long my roots are. They're about that long. I don't wear my hair pulled that far back. I'm just trying to find an area that is showing my roots. Because, as I said, I did the part. If I turned around and split my hair, quite possibly you would see it. But I've literally just done that area. You can't tell. It's blended so well through my hair. And what that does is ensure that this part of my hair is not getting coated and coated. This is sort of I haven't coloured the ends of my hair now for, I think we're looking at about 6 months easily. There is not a huge amount of difference in the colour between my base. This is slightly redder. I've just used a medium brown on my roots. But root colours are your friend. You don't need to do it all the time. It's quick. Takes you 10 minutes to do that. Leave it on 10 minutes, wash it out, you're done. Half an hour, woe to go. That is probably, if you are looking at colouring your hair at home, if you are looking at saving money, if you are a tight ass like me and you don't like to spend, I am not going to spend $400, $500, $600 on a hair colour. If you do, hats off to you. I spend too much money on makeup, so, you know, you may not do that. And that's where I'm going to spend my money, let's be honest. I cut my hair at home myself. I colour my hair at home myself. If I wanted to do something drastic, absolutely I would be in the salon. If I was a blonde, I would do it in the salon, is what I would say. But if you are your stock standard brunette like me, there are 8 tips from me to you. I have been doing this for a long, long time. I don't think it looks too bad. You may think differently. Let me know down below if you do. If you've got any other tips for colouring your hair at home, please let me know down below. Until next time, my friends, don't forget to tell your mum, tell your sister, tell your friends. Come along, subscribe, hang out. I like hearing all about you. Until next time. See ya.